So XRP's Venus is in Taurus, and according to the sky, Venus is entering Taurus tomorrow, the 7th of April 2023. If this sounds different, you're like, oh, I thought it already was in Venus. Not according to the sky, not according to astronomy. This isn't mainstream tropical Western astrology. This is nature, the sky. And anyway, I have done a whole birth chart on XRP, if you're into crypto, based off the visible sky. So of course, welcome. My name is Kelita, Sahliah, and I share my perspective and my lens on how I view reality, our realm that we share together collectively. I am a mother and I dabble in crypto, so hence the XRP. I love to stargaze, and I noticed a different story. So in honor of Venus entering Taurus, because Venus is in Taurus for XRP, why not release its whole birth chart? I do offer readings like this similar, so if you are interested in this nature and this style of reading, I am offering them free for the whole of April, but it won't be free after that from May, so do catch it while you can. I'd really love to know if this actually resonates. Do you feel the reading that I've done once you watch it? Does it resonate with XRP's character and personality, would you say? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. So yeah, it is a long one, so do just sit back and enjoy. It is timestamped, so you can get back to the particular placements when you're ready. And yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, opinions. Does it resonate? Does it not? Does it match XRP? Does it not? If you like this format, I offer readings, and I will be doing it for Bitcoin and Ethereum too. And remember, it's just exploring the possibility. I see the sky essentially, ultimately, as our mirror. So let's just take a look at what it's reflecting. But anyway, enjoy the reading. Stick around if you like this type of content. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching and clicking on this video. Do enjoy. Comment down below so I know you've enjoyed it, or if it resonates, it will help the algorithm. But anyway, do enjoy. Angel out. Bye. Hi XRP, and welcome to your birth chart reading based off the visible sky. So I am doing a birth chart reading for XRP, but we are going to continue in the exact same way, because I do offer these type of readings as well. So if you are interested in this reading in this style, then here's a snippet of how I do it. So for a start, I view us as light fractalized and then densified into matter. Okay, so what I see is that our light has been fractalized within these different frequency bandwidths, in essence, which are the zodiac constellations. And in essence, because our light has been fractalized there, we then have more access to these energies, or in essence, we use these energies to create our reality. These are the energies we kind of want to work on and to manipulate to have our physical experience. Okay, but of course, it's so important to know that you are more than your zodiac sign. You are more than the fractalization. You are the light itself, and you have access to all of the 88 star constellations, all of the frequency bandwidths that you choose. So do take what resonates, and of course leave what doesn't. Always know you are more. But yeah, so this app that I'm using is called Stellarium, and it looks like this, if anyone is interested in getting it. So it is an astronomy app, and it shows you the exact location of the luminaries in the sky. So that's what it does, and I am recording this because essentially, oh dear, waters above message. But essentially, I'd like people to learn themselves. It's not about having to rely on anyone else other than your own energy source. And I feel we're stepping into the time that we're to generate our own energy, essentially, and not have to rely on external things as much. So I am recording this so you can get a feel of what it's like, and how to use it, because it is fun. And before we get into that, I do go live every week and I talk about just the general energies of the week that is ahead, and I touch on numerology at the beginning of each month, and I finish with tarot at the end of each week to clarify the energy. I also have started my astrology crypto. It's called Crypto Angles Podcast. I need to change the name, but I noticed the correlation between the zodiac story of the sky, a bit different to mainstream, but I pay attention to the zodiac story of the sky and I link it into the current market movement. So I pay attention to the correlation that is happening. So that's what I do there. If anyone is interested, I won't be putting up the rest only for April. I'll be putting things in here. After that, it will be on my Patreon, because I show my art. So as you can see, this here it's my art. It's my calendar, which I'll show you right now. If you are interested in a transit calendar that is in alignment with the visible sky, as I said, mainstream astrology is a fixed system where you can get tons of information and learn so much about astrology and the nature of our reality and our realm, our holographic realm within the fixed astrology, tropical. But this is based off the sky, the visible sky, and you can download the app, as we're going to use, so you can see for yourself the transits that's happening. All the transits are in one place, as you can see, and then in one place again on the actual calendar. And at the back, it's perfect for beginners because you can remember all of the symbolism that we once knew. So without further ado, let's get into this reading. So it will be time stamped, so you can come back to it at any point in time if you'd like. And we will start by saying what we will be looking into within this reading. So XRP, we are going to look at the lens in which your ego operates through, being your sun placement, your internal values, being your moon placement, your material values, being your Venus placement, your way of thinking and how you exchange your energy, being your Mercury placement, your drive and your passion, being your Mars placement, the area where you naturally expand in, being your Jupiter placement, where you have the most discipline and structure in your life, in your time, being your Saturn placement, the area which you can bring about the most change in, being your Uranus placement, the area you have the most depth in, where you can reach your deepest part of you, being your Neptune placement, and the area you're coded to really shift your whole life around, being your Pluto placement, and your most suppressed area, which is also your strength, being your Lilith placement, and the area you're coded to have the most fortune in, being your Fortuna placement. And of course your wounded aspect, which is also your greatest strength, being your Chrion, and last but not least, the coat that you put in during this realm, being your rising sign. So let's start. You can probably see it there, but we're typing it in. The sun. So XRP's birth date was 2nd of June 2012. We put it round about 12 o'clock to get the average rising. So the sun, as you can see, that's sat in Taurus. So from my perspective, this is intuitive as well, okay, people. I don't really go off the standard Google definition for things. It is intuitive as well. So the sun I see as the ego, and the ego essentially is a vital part of our being. We say get rid of the ego and don't we say a lot about the ego, but our ego is necessary for us to experience reality. And our ego in essence is what attracts experiences to us. It is the external sun that shines, and like that shine, it's like a magnet. It's magnetism. It attracts experiences to you. Okay, so XRP's sun is in Taurus. So what I'm kind of seeing here is that it's naturally attracts experiences to it, which is of this Taurian nature. So it's based around physical pleasures. So Venus fuels Taurus, and we can see that Venus is sat right there, but we'll get into that a bit later. So in essence, it's like things that are pleasurable, things that are pleasing to the senses, in essence, things that are based around love and money. Money is in there too. How you go about your money is all in Taurus, basically. So I'm truly seeing money is a big part in terms of XRP's ego, and in terms of experiencing the physical reality, because it does represent the physical material existence in essence. So I'm seeing XRP's ego, how it attracts things, is based around how it can impact the material reality. Okay, that's how I'm seeing that. And of course, because that's me, I've popped up, because this is how can I put it? Of course, this is a coin, it's a token. So think about it from the external perspective whilst I'm giving this reading to the way it shines, and how you're attracted to it is based around how it can impact your financial status, how it can impact how you experience your pleasures from the financial status. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's how I see how XRP operates through naturally. So these are based off the natural energies of the sky, of course. So the moon now being sat in Libra. So the moon represents our internal values. So in the sky, the sun and moon appear to be equal in size. So in essence, it's as equal influence as the sun, but the sun is external and the moon is internal. So it does fuel our emotions, our intuition, how we feel about things. And in essence, it's what the moon is, the mover of our emotions. It's what gets our emotions moving, which then allows our ego to attract these experiences to us. Okay, so what I'm seeing, what kind of gets XRP's emotions moving is definitely creating balance, for one, and it's sat at the top of the scales, not necessarily on the scale. So I do pay attention to literally the exact location of where it's sat in the constellation. So this part of the Libra, so if we look at the screen by the moon, look at the pen, I'm going to draw the Libra symbolism now and then explain it a bit more. So the Libra symbol goes like this across, and then it goes up with a little bobblehead, and then like that. Okay, so in essence, it's got like the airhead at the top that comes out into the plane of existence. So I do see Libra as quite a powerful manifester, because it's like it is about justice, the scales of justice in love, in everything really. But in essence, it's like coming out of the ether, the ethereal, what's in your mind, and bringing that into the plane of existence. When you bring that out, does it come out in a balanced state? You know, you're kind of weighing the scales once you've brought it out of your head. So what I'm kind of seeing here with this Libra moon, emotions are moved in a way that, and it's at the top, like I said, so it's definitely, oh, and it's a full moon. It is a full moon, or, you know, basically almost a full moon. So it's very illuminated. It's very moved by intuition quite heavily. Very illuminated. And what I see, because the moon can represent like the feminine, creativity as well, I definitely see that, because it's at the top of the scales. It's full of like creative ideas and what it's gonna do and how far it's kind of gonna go, and in terms of bringing that out into reality, based around, of course, anything. Libra's mostly connected with like love, like all relationships, but in essence it's whatever you see in your head. So if you see a particular version of a relationship in your head, how are you bringing that out into scales? How are you bringing it out into justice? If you see your own creation, as XRP has many ideas illuminated within its emotions, how can that come out into scales, into balance, essentially? So I do see that with the sun being sat in Taurus, because the moon moves our emotions, allowing our ego to attract these experiences to us. So in essence, it's like based around love and money, based around our material reality. In essence, it's about having that balance. And if you know about XRP, it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative, and it will definitely help in the material, because many currencies will be using XRP, okay, as the XRP ledger in essence. So that's what I'm seeing with the moon. It's like the moon, the mover of its emotions, wants to bring balance and to help this whole Taurus energy, which is our material pleasures. So Venus now. Oh yeah, it was in it was in Taurus anyway. So Venus represents our material values. So Venus is fueler of Taurus anyway. It does fuel Taurus. It's known as like the number 6 represented to it. It is like, that's the lovers in tarot. 6 represents the material. It's like that pregnant belly, that pregnant potential essentially, and it does represent the material reality. So Venus is truly happy here, and Venus is transiting into Taurus on the 7th of April 2023. This is done on the 2nd of April. So I am seeing XRP is gonna have a good time, and I have mentioned that in my Crypto Angles podcast, so do check that out if you'd like. But yeah, XRP is gonna have a good time when Venus enters Taurus, because XRP's Venus is sat in Taurus, so it's gonna be super happy there. So again, what am I seeing here? Based around how XRP would like to experience its material values, is all based around the material. So it is very money focused, pleasure driven. So of course, money and pleasure they're synonymous, because you can experience your pleasures with money. Not all the time. You don't need money to experience your pleasures, of course not, but it does represent literally beyond love, beyond money, how you want to experience your physical reality. And it's very Taurian, so I'm seeing just heavy pleasures. Basically, you want to experience the pleasures of this realm, and I do feel it being the token it can offer this for many people who take inspired action. That's what I'm seeing with that. It is a little bit different doing it as a coin, but it's still interesting. Let's see now. Oh, Venus as well in the sky. We pay attention to the sky. It is the brightest star, and it is out now. So if the sky is clear, by the time you're listening to this, around the time you're listening to this, and you see the brightest star in the sky, that's Venus, because she's moved away from the sun now, so you can see her at night. Okay, Mercury, your way of thinking and how you exchange your energy. And this, wow, is it in Taurus as well? Oh, I wasn't looking at the screen. Okay, so it's the way you exchange your energy. It does represent your thought process too, your thinking, because that is an exchange of energy between your thoughts. So that's internally, and also externally, your communication and how you exchange money is literally any form of energetic exchange between yourself or another person. So again, the way this coin exchanges its energy is based around this Taurus lifestyle. Is very Taurian, so the way it speaks to you brings impact on how you would think about your earthly pleasures, your material pleasures, and that does cover love and money, of course. So in essence, the way it communicates to people, it brings the message of, yes, this will help with this in my physical reality, and this is the message. Because Mercury is the messenger, it dances around the sun back and forth. That's why we have 4 retrogrades per year, and it does stay very close to the sun as its messenger. So it's like it's bringing you the message on how you can and giving you that exchange, which will help your physical reality. This Taurus style bull, which is very sturdy too. All of these placements, we're obviously going to get into Jupiter in a bit, but Venus, Mercury sat there as well as the sun. Taurus is very sturdy in nature. And think of like the bull run. We're not linking this to like, oh, it's going to go on a bull run. No, you need to know. No, just know we're in that there. But it is very sturdy in nature. So I feel like it's just sturdy. Like its coding is quite sturdy because it's all up in Taurus right there. Okay, looking at Mars now. So Mars is your drive and passion. Your drive and passion is what gets you up and moving. It's known as like the god of war, and it's like, yes, I'm doing it, I'm going. So it's sat right there in Leo. We've got fire and fire right there. It's on the feet of the Leo, so I'm seeing quite quick movement, and because it is based around the feet, and Mars is quite quick anyway. In the sky, as you can see, Mars is red here. In the sky, it does look reddy orange depending on the night. So if you do see it, have a look, take a picture. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So it being sat in Leo, what this is telling me is that oh, excuse me, its drive and its passion, or what motivates it, what gets it going, is truly acknowledging and accepting this is who I am. Because Leo, I see, represents like the heart space, the heart chakra. And it is fueled by the sun. So it is that shining element. Like, how are you shining? It's fire, fire, and fire. That's like triple fire here. So I'm seeing a lot of movement and action just in general with XRP. Now, obviously, if you are into XRP, we've all seen how it just moved when it was ready to just roar confidently like that Leo lion. We saw how it moved. Like, I wasn't in the market back then, but it went up to its all-time high, and just the way it moved was like, whoa. So Mars being on the feet, I get it. I do get it. And yeah, it's just about doing it confidently. Essentially, it's moving forward, having your drives and your passion, moving forward and doing it confidently and roaring like that lion. And getting to that point. It's just getting to that point, because we all know it's suppressed. We all know it is suppressed. So that's interesting. Moving now on to Jupiter. We're doing it in this order because it's just easier, even though Jupiter was right here. So that's clearly sat in Taurus. Again, so Jupiter is the area where you naturally expand in. Now, this doesn't mean you expanding in a positive way. It could be in a negative way as well. However, negative polarities could propel you into the positive polarity. It doesn't mean good or bad. They're just different experiences on the same spectrum, or different spectrums of the same experience, whichever. Either way, it can expand you in any way, any direction, Jupiter. So it being in Taurus is literally just expanding all of the material. I'm seeing that this XRP coin has natural expansion within the material. So of course, this could be too much focused on the material. You know what I mean? You could be expanded too much in that way. Yeah, it could literally just be too much, where you delve too much in the earthly experience. So and the earthly pleasures, the earthly senses, that you in essence kind of forget about the spiritual aspect. Because it can seem so enticing, all of this earth energy and earth element and earthly material pleasures. So it does expand in that. And then of course it can expand in the opposite way. So it's like you can either delve too much in the earthly pleasures, or it expands. So it can offer more earthly experiences and earthly pleasures, touching on your five senses, visiting. It can expand your money. Again, you could be either expanded in not using your money in the best way, or the other polarity of it's literally expanding your money and your wealth. Like yeah. And again, we all know, if you're watching this, or if you don't know, if you're into XRP, it has potential. So again, this does make sense. Does this what I've gone through so far, if this resonates at all and you feel it does fit in with XRP's personality, do give me a thumbs up and give me an emoji of the Taurus if you resonate. I'd love to know. So Saturn now. Oh, Jupiter in the sky as well. It is close to, well, it's not that close, it's bright, not as bright as Venus, but it is still bright. It's very noticeable. But when Venus is out, you're like, okay, that Venus is brighter, but Jupiter's bright. Saturn now. Saturn is the area where you have the most discipline and structure in your reality, and that's sat in Virgo. So Saturn is known as like time in essence. It's known as time, and it is what you, in essence, you spend your time on in this now moment. It's what you're doing in your reality, because it's about time. How are you spending your time? Its rings, from my perspective, emits a frequency, or it emits the hologram that we reside in, the mathematical reality that we live in. Saturn's rings emit this frequency out and create our hologram because it is known as the 7th day or the first day, depending on your point of view. 7th days it was created, it was done, etc., etc. In the sky, it is the last visible luminary that you can see with your eye, and it's so dull. He's so dull. It's so dull. But I really like just looking at it. Sometimes when he twinkles a bit brighter, it's so nice. But he is dull in the sky. Obviously, it doesn't have a gender, but I'm just saying he. So Saturn, because it in essence creates our hologram, emits the frequency for our hologram, it allows you that discipline and structure to create within your hologram. So it is also kind of linked to Libra, not linked to Libra, but the similar to Libra, bringing justice. So in essence, it's like you having that discipline and that structure in your time. Within your time, you're keeping that discipline and structure based around your life, of course. Then justice comes and it's created within your hologram because you've kept that discipline and structure. So it being in Virgo is known as the maiden, and it represents, or people often say it's like, oh, so not indecisive. Is it indecisive? Very analytical, looks at all the details, etc., etc. Now, I see that because it's known as the maiden, and in essence, the maiden, it wants to know, how can I give my love and how can I serve properly? And I want to do it in the best way I possibly can. So because of this, I will look at every single detail. I will flick through everything to make sure I'm giving myself and serving in the best way possible. So this is Virgo, the maiden. She wants to be sure in what she is doing and how she is giving of herself. So what I'm kind of seeing here is within XRP's time, there'd be a lot of thinking. Virgo, I've noticed it can move slow when she's in deciding mode. Okay, so this resonates with me because of how XRP has been so suppressed. But it's just like, okay, within this suppression, we now have the time to look at every single detail, to flip over every rock, to make sure that what we have to offer to the world is just undeniable because we've checked every single angle. You see what I'm saying? And sticking to that restriction that feels like it comes from Saturn, which I wouldn't say forces you, but it leads you in the direction to have to take a step back and truly analyze all angles and make sure everything is working okay, is because of how much it truly wants to give. And obviously it's like looking at all the details on how much you want to give and making sure everything's okay amplifies then this whole Taurus energy. Where is it? This whole Taurus energy of it impacting or truly impacting the physical reality, okay, through the structure and discipline of taking note of every single angle, my crypto angles. Be sure to check that out if you'd like. Anyway, going now on to Uranus. Now, this point on, these luminaries, you cannot see them with your visible eye. Telescope potentially, but not your visible eye. So the luminaries from Saturn up, they represent more of how its influences impact you within the physical reality, within the material reality, whereas like externally, whereas from Uranus down, it is more of internal. Okay, it's more of the internal aspect of your personality. So looking at Uranus, your anus, so it sat in Cetus. So as you can see, obviously there's so much more star constellations than just 12 or 13, and this one sat in Cetus. Now Uranus can bring about the most change in your life. Uranus is known as like the father of electricity. Again, no gender, it's just part of the mythology story. In the periodic table, I'm not entirely sure of the number. I believe it may be 94. I'm not entirely sure of the number, but it is linked to plutonium. So that's Pluto's energy that Uranus also has, which can bring about like change, sudden changes, because it knocks down the old and welcomes in the new. It's like that electricity that gives you that spark. It's like, okay, all right, we're doing this now. So it can be very initiative, as it does fuel Aquarius. So yeah, unique ideas, etc., etc. This is all about Uranus. Now, it being sat in Cetus, also in between Pisces. Cetus is known as, it's a whale. It is a whale. Just underneath the last zodiac, being the 13th one. So being that little bit of all. So what I'm kind of seeing here, Cetus being this whale, I see Cetus as the alchemization. Okay, so I see the zodiac as a game. It's like a wheel, it's a game. The luminaries dance around the ecliptic, going round and round and round. And in essence, energetically or in consciousness expansion, the more awareness you have, you kind of level up each level. So you've gone round the wheel, and Pisces being that last one, being that little bit of everything, you go through that watery birth in essence to become that new version of you after you've collected all of that data. And this is where Cetus comes in. So Cetus helps to alchemize all of the data, because like a whale, it takes its breath in and then it spews out its water, doesn't it, from the hole at the top of its head. So in essence, it's kind of representing that, okay, let's take this breath in and collect all this data that we did going around the zodiac wheel of Aries, etc., etc., and then all the way back around. Let's now synchronize all of this data and get ready to become new. So in essence, it's obviously, it's up on the tail, but it's in like the synchronization, alchemization process, basically, that stage. So the area where it can bring about a lot of change in its life, in essence, is analyzing all the data that is previously done, taking that and synchronizing it all together. To me, that just sounds like XRP because it has the ability, it is watery, Cetus is a water sign. It's so lucrative. How the XRP ledger works, go check it out if you don't know. But it's meant to hold all of the currencies. Do you get what I'm saying? It's meant to hold all the currencies. So I see that as it's got all of that data. It's collecting it all up, alchemizing it to become one. You see what I'm saying? To become that one. So I definitely see that it can bring about most change by doing what it's already doing. Bringing everything together. Okay, going into Neptune now. So Neptune I see as the area where you have the most depth in. So it's like reaching these watery depths, seeing, because Neptune is watery, it's like Poseidon's staff, is very heavy on like dreams, intuition, yeah, our dreams, our intuition, the more spiritual nature of stuff. It's watery. Water connects everything. Water is everything. Consciousness connects everything. Consciousness is everything. So I basically see Neptune, and it's sat in Aquarius, an air sign. I basically see touching into that watery depth, that watery connection of all, and not only that, but trusting yourself. That's Neptune. It's literally trusting that dreamy aspect of you, your dreams, through now the Aquarian style. Okay, so it is your dreams, how you can, that connection to dreams, connection. And because it is sat in Aquarius, I'm seeing this as quite positive, because Aquarius is fueled by Uranus, so it can bring about sudden change as well. That is in there. Aquarius is the innovative one. It is the humanitarian. It wants to know, how can I give, how can I help humanity in the most unique way? Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that dream, that of XRP's dream, with its unique style of living out this dream. That's its depth, basically. That's how I see it's reaching its depth of itself. It's just like tapping into this whole unique Aquarian energy and truly helping people is how it's reaching its depths. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it matches? Oh, wrong. What am I writing? Lolita. There's so many things to learn in this sky. But Pluto now, as you can see, sat in Sagittarius. So Pluto is the luminary that has the ability to literally transform everything in front of it. That's Pluto's job. It is like Mercury. Oh, TikTok. I need to turn off these notifications. Forgive me, these are just popping up on this live. But anyway, Pluto, it's like Mercury. It is a messenger as well. So Pluto and Mercury are the only luminaries that don't have a polarity. Okay, up to this point anyway, it doesn't have a polarity. So the polarities are Neptune's polarity being feminine is Uranus being masculine. Saturn's polarity is Jupiter. Venus's polarity is Mars. The sun's polarity is the moon. Mercury and Pluto don't have polarities because these are the messengers. So Pluto is the messenger from the underworld, from the god of death and rebirth. It does fuel Scorpio, so I am incorporating like the Scorpio characteristics in here of reaching that watery depth, and recognizing that that is your strength. So that's going back to obviously Neptune in Aquarius. But Pluto, its only desire is to give you what you want. And in order to get to that point, you will attract experiences to you, which will give you the opportunity to, in essence, level up, where you shed off that old version of you and step into the new. So it being sat in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the centurion. It is the centurion. Is it near anything else? Oh, it's actually in Scutum. That's really interesting. And I think if you are interested in that, I have to double check something, but it's definitely got these influences. Okay, because these extra constellations, our body in essence has the 13 to 14 to 15 within our body, these energies, but the outer ones I see are the energies of our auric field, so our Merkaba essentially, and it's technically in Scutum. So that's super fascinating. So what I see here, anyway, I am sticking to Sagittarius because I do have to double check something. So if you would like a part 2, do let me know. And to be honest, I may add that onto my Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. It will only be £8 a month. So if you would like that, do let me know. I think I'll add that to my Patreon because it's definitely got these influences right there. So anyway, focusing just on Sagittarius. For now, Sagittarius is the Centurion. Do give me a thumbs up as well. Okay, if you would like me to go over that. But Sagittarius is the Centurion. It is half mystical. It is mystical because it represents half horse and half man. So it is magical in that nature. Okay. It is magical in that nature. It represents direction, focus, higher learning, higher perspectives as well. So, Pluto, when I say higher learning, that can cover like education, college degrees, masters, beyond that, all of that stuff. It can represent more spiritual higher learning. So, I don't know, law of attraction, holographic nature of reality, dimensions, all of that stuff. It can represent crypto, higher learning. That's another perspective. So this is all the Centurion. It's like, this is my focus. I've got my bow and arrow. I know what I want to focus on. Higher perspective, this is my direction. So it does cover obviously travel as well. So what I'm seeing here is that XRP can essentially transform its whole self from the perspective of higher learning and a higher perspective, basically. So it is that directed focus. It is obviously learning about it. It is looking into the future and learning about it. That's the best way I can say it. Like learning about XRP. If you're out here learning about it, it has the ability to transform. Yeah, these higher perspectives of learning anyway. And okay, we're gonna move now on to, it's getting a bit long. My recordings only last usually between 30 and 40 minutes, but this is XRP. So Lilith now. So Lilith is, if you don't know the story of Lilith, Lilith was Adam's first wife that the Lord created. She wasn't happy with the rules, so she grew her wings and flew away. In short, and then Eve came along. So this represents, in essence, things that we are passionate about, but we are being restricted potentially from external circumstances that restricts us and limits what we're truly passionate about. So it does also represent our strength, and essentially is pushing through this resistance and saying, no, this is my passion and I'm going to talk about it. So it is sat in Aquarius as well. So what else was in Aquarius? What was in Aquarius? Neptune. So Neptune, in terms of reaching this is how I want to give. This is my dream of how I want to give to reality. There's definitely some restriction there with Lilith. There's some resistance. Now that makes sense because XRP has been the most suppressed coin on the block. So I'm definitely resonating with this restriction being here with Lilith sat in Aquarius. Like, there's restriction, but giving is its strength. Like once it breaks through this SEC suppression, then the water's just flowing. Look at that. The water is just flowing. Right, moving on now to Fortuna. So Fortuna, as you can see here, it's got a at the end, but in mainstream astrology it's spelled with an E. Now the E is more masculine, the A is feminine. I definitely resonate with the more feminine aspect because feminine is the one that nurtures and spirals and kind of expands and grows, isn't it? So I do resonate with like your fortune and prosperity. The area you're going to be most fortunate in is that nurturing element, isn't it? So I do see it as feminine. But anyway, it says Sagittarius, but it's literally entering like into the Capricorn zodiac. Like it's almost 0 degree at Capricorn. It's on the cusp, essentially. So I'm seeing it does back up Pluto being there, the one that can bring about change in all of the other luminaries, because it's fortunate in it. So having that higher learning, or because it's based around higher learning, essentially. To know XRP, you must learn it. You must study it. So it's very fortunate in that. It's fortunate in obviously taking you to a different direction, that focused direction. But because it is on the cusp of Capricorn here, it's also fortunate in setting solid foundations. Capricorn I see as the one that's amazing as well, just like Libra, in creating solid foundations, because it has that balance of you've got a fish, his tail, with the ram, the goat. Is it a goat? It's a goat. Aries is the ram. So, and Taurus is a bull. I get confused. So it has that water and earth aspect to it, that spiritual and physical. So it has that perfect balance in essence to within our physical material reality to set those solid foundations, because it's got that blend of both, making it a solid structure for you to then build upon. So I am seeing it does have fortune and prosperity in laying out solid foundations within, of course, the material realm. I am seeing that. I'm moving now on to, before we slowly wrap this up, Chrion, being the wounded warrior, which is the wounded aspect of you, which again is also your greatest strength. And look at where it is, on the water. It's on the water of Aquarius, the water bearer. Yeah, so when it comes to healing, they say it's the area you need to heal in. I don't see healing as that. I see the only thing you need to heal from is the illusion that you are not whole as you are in this now moment. So I personally see as it's not about healing to change who you are or any aspect of you. It's about accepting this is who I am. And XRP seems like it is a giver, one that wants to help humanity, and it's about truly accepting that this is what I'm about, this is what I'm doing, and I'm gonna do it how I'm gonna do it. And then of course, what else did we have there? There is suppression of Lilith being there. So again, it's just truly accepting, nah, this is what I'm doing. Then of course, Neptune, it's dream. So it is its dream, what it wants to do. But it's about pushing through the external noise, the nonsense of whoever's saying whatever, and saying, nah, this is who I am. And I feel once getting to that point of that you know, quote unquote healing aspect of yourself, of no, this is me, let me not swear. I was gonna say this is me, motherfucker. But anyway, get into that aspect of you, then the water will just pour out, you know, like that giver, that Aquarian, wanting to give life. It's like pushing through this its dream, its unique idea, its unique perspective, what it wants to give to the world, pushing through that restriction, being the Lilith, and accepting this is who I am. I'm seeing then the earthly, like Jupiter and everything, the earthly aspect becomes amplified. Okay, so putting now on this landscape, its descendants is Aquarius. So again, it's accepting this is who I am, and it's ready to take that coat off because it already is it. So the descendant sign is kind of the coat you're taking off, and that is part of accepting this is who I am. And it's rising, which is Leo. Can you see? Leo is the one that's rising at the time. So I'm going to move it no, we don't need to move it. So Leo is, see Mars right there, XRP's rising sign. So what do I see this as? The rising sign is the coat that is put on into the world. It's the coat that is put on into the world. Yeah, it is the coat that's put on into the world. So it's what you learn to be. It's what you learn to be. Okay. And then, of course, we've got Mars there, haven't we? So it's like, it's this drive and this passion. It's trusting yourself to go with your drive and your passion. And you showing yourself, you're learning to become this confident lion. Like, I'm ready to roar, shine. I'm shining like the motherfucking sun. Look at me. I'll burn your eyes because I'm that great type of thing. It's like, yes, we know you're ready to help humanity. Take that off. Accept that that's who you are and show up now confidently doing so. Learn to be confident in yourself. Yeah, that is what I see with XRP. Whew, that was a big one. What are your thoughts? Does this resonate? Does it not? I'd love to know feedback on this. Of course, if you are interested in a reading of this nature, do let me know. They are free for the whole of April. So do get at me quickly if you'd like one. Or, you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's honestly up to you. But I'll more than happily give you a reading if this is of interest to you. What are your thoughts about XRP? Does any of these characteristics of its placements of the sky? So these placements will be different to tropical Western astrology placements. So I am curious to know if you do know its placements in tropical. I'm curious to know if it resonates, or do both aspects resonate? Do you see any of what I said as XRP's character? Are you holding XRP? Do you want to hold XRP? I'd love to know. Yeah, so as I says as well, I do have this astrology transit calendar available, so do grab it if you would like. It is available on Etsy. All the links will be down below. We're on 88% battery, and I feel that that is the perfect time to end this because these are 88 constellations in the sky. But yes, take a deep breath. Do check out my Thursday weekly lives and my last two Crypto Angles podcasts, you know. Do check them out. But anyway, I love doing this reading. I will be doing Bitcoin and Ethereum for my YouTube, and any other coins will be put on my Patreon. But I do hope this brought any sort of insight. I hope you enjoyed it. And with that being said, Angel out. Bye. Oh, a whole hour.